Footsteps echo in the black.
24-hour survival in the abandoned village. A tale of fear and resilience. Prologue. The dare that changed everything. It all began with a simple dare. I was known for my adventurous spirit and love for exploring the unknown. When my friends challenged me to spend 24 hours in a mysterious, abandoned village that locals believed was cursed, I couldn't resist. Armed with my camera, flashlight, and a few essentials, I set off to document my experience for my YouTube channel. I arrived at the village just as the sun began its descent. The place was eerily silent, with crumbling houses covered in moss and vines. Broken windows stared back at me like hollow eyes, and the rustling of leaves in the wind echoed through the empty streets. Legend had it that the village was once prosperous, but was abandoned overnight after a series of unexplained deaths. Some said it was haunted, others believed an ancient curse drove the villagers away. I was here to find out the truth. I set up my camera and started recording. Hey guys, this is Sunil, and today I'm embarking on a 24-hour survival challenge in this haunted village. Let's see what mysteries lie ahead. With my flashlight in hand, I ventured deeper into the village. I came across an old well, covered with wooden planks and rusted chains. Stories claimed that a young woman had fallen into the well, and her spirit still haunted the village. I felt a chill run down my spine, but pressed on. I found an ancient temple with faded murals depicting strange rituals. The air inside was heavy, and I heard faint whispers that seemed to come from nowhere. I reminded myself it was just my imagination and continued filming. As darkness engulfed the village, I set up a small camp near an abandoned house. I lit a fire and cooked some instant noodles. The crackling of the fire provided some comfort, but the occasional sound of footsteps in the distance kept me on edge. Around midnight, I heard a faint knocking sound coming from the house behind me. I turned my camera toward the source, but there was nothing there. I decided to investigate. The door creaked as I pushed it open. Inside, the walls were covered with strange symbols, and old photographs of villagers stared at me from the walls. Suddenly, a shadow moved across the room. I froze, my heart pounding. I quickly exited the house and returned to my camp. The village felt alive, as if unseen eyes were watching me. I heard whispers, laughter, and occasional footsteps, but there was no one in sight. At 3 a.m., the temperature dropped drastically. My breath became visible in the air, and an overwhelming sense of dread filled me. I saw a figure in white standing near the well. It seemed to float rather than walk. My instincts told me to run, but I stayed and captured the moment on camera. The figure slowly turned toward me, revealing a pale face with hollow eyes. I stumbled backward, and when I looked again, it was gone. As the first light of dawn broke through the mist, the village seemed less menacing. I decided to explore one last area, the village chief's house. In the attic, I discovered an old diary that belonged to the chief's daughter. It revealed that the villagers had practiced ancient rituals to protect themselves from an unknown entity. However, one night, the rituals went wrong, unleashing a dark force that led to their doom. The villagers fled, leaving the spirits trapped in the village. With the sun rising higher, I packed my belongings and left the village. I had survived the night, but the experience had changed me. When I uploaded the footage to my YouTube channel, it went viral. Viewers were captivated by the eerie encounters and the haunting history of the village. Paranormal investigators even visited the site, confirming the strange phenomena I had experienced. Though I survived the 24-hour challenge, the memories of that night still haunt me. I often wonder if the spirits of the villagers are still trapped there, waiting for someone to uncover the truth and break the curse. Would you dare to spend a night in the abandoned village?